Welcome to the Dice Tower, a series of video reviews about board and card games. Here are your hosts, Tom Vasel and Sam Healey.
Hey folks, Tom Vasel here.
And I'm Sam.
And we're here to talk today about Infamy from a new company, Mercury Games. Infamy is once again in a dystopian future where apparently almost everyone sells drugs, shoots each other, and wears outlandish, dirty clothing.
Sure.
Essentially, though, it feels like it's the same universe as Android Netrunner.
Yeah.
Almost.
Very similar.
And you here are a... What does it say you are? You're a...
in the Martian colony of Ares.
A freelancer. That's
Crime
right.
pays.
We're a freelancer working for different gangs and trying to get the most, well, infamy, which is the name. Cool components and stuff. Let's look at how the game plays, and we'll be back. There's a lot going on in this game, and one of the cool things about this game is that it has a spot for everything. It has a spot for every deck of cards, or sometimes they're on the outside of the board. And so there's lots of different tokens, but there's always different spots for them. This game also comes with the coolest first-person marker ever, which is this gun, which you're really supposed to pass around through various points, but it gets kind of annoying after a while, so you can just tell the next person to go who's first. But before we do anything else, I want to talk about the victory conditions. Everyone is going to keep track on this scoring track here for Infamy. This is one of the ways to get victory points, or one of the ways to win, is if you get to 15 Infamy over the course of the game, you will win. Here's another way to win, or the other way to win. This is a player's board, and you're going to have reputation with these different gangs. And you start with 0 reputation. As the game increases, you'll get reputations with the different gangs, and if you ever get 5 reputation with a specific gang, then you're going to win the game. There's also spots around here to keep the different resources in the game. There are henchmen. Henchmen are useful because the game takes place with a day and a night phase. Basically, it's a whole turn cut into 2 halves, and at the end of each night phase, every 2 henchmen you have is going to get you a point of infamy. So henchmen are useful for that. And then you have spots here for favors. Favors are really powerful bidding things that you can get. And then you have bribes, spent bribes. At the top, you're going to keep your 3 main resources, which is compound, also known as drugs, data, and weapons. Those are the spots that keep the different resources as you get them. As I said, each turn is split into a day and a night phase, and they're pretty close to the same, but what you're going to do is 13 contact cards. And each, in the day and the night, you're going to place 5 of them at the top. So you'll see 10 of the 13 each round. And so they're placed here randomly from left to right. Players are going to bid on controlling each of these contacts. Controlling a contact can do a variety of things. For example, this one here will give you 2 weapons. This one gives you 1 henchman. This gentleman here, the informant, lets you draw 2 scheme cards. Discard 1 card from your hand, and then you can play an extra scheme card this round. This one here gives you a resource of your choice. This one gives you the very powerful favor. Now, when you're bidding on these, you're going to put tokens on them. Basically, that this is how many bribes, so I can bid 2 on him. But what this game does is it has an unusual thing that most games don't have, and that's down here. You can see you have your available bribes and spent bribes. Whenever I bid on somebody, putting favors on them, essentially, or putting these on them, I can bid as much as I want, but I always have to spend 1 and put it down here. So let's say I bid 2, then someone else bids 3. Oh, I want to outbid him. I want to bid 5, I guess. But before I add more, I need to add 3 more to it. I'd have to spend another bribe. So every bid you make is going to cost you a bribe. Now, if you win, all the bribes that you used on it are going to be pulled off and put here in the spent bribes area. If you lose, you get the bribes that you put on it back, but any spent, anything that you use to these bribes that you use to put the stuff on them, they're gone forever. So you have to think carefully about each bid. You also have to think carefully because you have 12 of these and they have to last you for the day and the night. A player can also basically bid one of their favor tokens to outright win one of these guys. You're calling in a favor. Now, favor tokens are hard to get, and you can't use a favor token to get the guy who gives you a favor. But like I said, these guys are very powerful. They have different special abilities. Many of them give resources. Many of them give you extra things, and you have to play the game to see what they all do. Now, after everyone has done that and taken those abilities, you're going to put your guys on the board here. Each person has, you know, your contact dude who's going to go on the board somewhere. And so everyone is going to simultaneously pick which section you're going to go to. Now, one section, and depending on one of the contacts, possibly two, it's going to have the police there. And you don't want to go where the police are. You can't. Other times, there are things that you can put on the board, hazards, that will cover up certain spots of a section. Everybody goes to a section that their number shows when they reveal their cards, and if there's a tie, then you go from here over to determine who goes out first. When you go to these spots, there are 3 things at each spot. So let's look here. For example, here at Elysium, I can go here to take a data resource. There are many different places to get resources. Here I can get a henchman, and here I can get some drugs. Or I can go to this spot here, which is going to give me a card from that person. So I'll take a card, one of these scheme cards from that gang. The first time you go there, you're also going to increase 1 rep with that gang. But that's about it. You won't be able to increase more from that. You're going to have to find other ways to increase your rep with the different gangs. And then the other thing that's on these cards here, well, here's one spot you can go here basically where you can recover 3 of your spent bribes in the daytime, or at night you can gain infamy. But you can also go to the mission on one of these. Now, when you do a mission, you have to do the mission that matches that area. So you can see here, for example, mission 2 is in area 2. So it's in the gravity hub, so you would have to go to the mission in the gravity hub to do that one. If you want to do this mission, you're liberating a prisoner, you need to spend 2 weapons. And you can see this stealth op over here, spend 2 weapons and 2 data. Here's another mission, spend 2 data, 2 weapons, and a henchman. When you do that, you'll get a special ability. For example, here you get a henchman, here you get to sabotage someone else. Here, all the freelancers, that's you, with reputation in the cartel, get an extra reputation in the cartel. So you get that special ability, whatever it says. Then you'll also get either infamy, or you will get respect, reputation with a gang. And the gang that you get reputation is here. So here you can pick between 2 different ones. Sometimes you only have 1 to pick from. And so after players do that, then there's a scheme phase where players will play the different cards from these. And the cards, the gangs are very different. Some let you play extra cards. Some let you move the reputation up faster. They all have different things that you can do. And then you reset everything and go to the next round. I should mention, as your reputation goes up in the different spots, you will get special abilities. So for example, here in the middle one, whenever you go up here, you always get 1 data every time you resupply to headquarters. Here, you will always draw a megacore scheme after you resolve a megacore contact. And some of this terminology might not make sense to you as I'm explaining it, but once the game gets going, it's pretty good, and the terminology helps explain how the whole game goes together. So anyway, you continue to play until one person has gotten 5 reputation with one of the gangs, or until someone has gotten 15 infamy. If there's ties, then you compare whoever has the most infamy is the winner of the game. All right, well, the first thing I'll say is I really liked the artwork. I really liked the components. I mean, I thought the first person marker was kind of opulent, but it's cool.
Yeah.
And you will find that throughout the game, that gun is often pointed by one person at another person over various things.
Even other people that aren't even playing the game. People just walking by.
But the game itself, well, let's take a look at the different parts of it. First, we have an auction part. And I really like the auction because I thought it was neat that you can't just do this, I'll do 1, Sam does 2, I do 3, Sam does 4. Because you have to pay every bid, so you have to make your bids count.
Yeah. Yeah, paying for the bid was something new. Well, maybe not something new, something I haven't experienced yet. I thought it was a good idea. because what Tom said, it keeps the fiddly bidding to a minimum. You either bid on it or you don't bid on it, and what I mean by that is you bid what you want to pay for it or what you're not willing to pay for it, you know, and that keeps you from not bidding. So that was a really cool aspect of the game.
Another thing I liked about the game is I liked the different multiple victory conditions, essentially. You can go for infamy or you can try to get reputation with the gangs. And I thought that was, I'm always a fan of the divergent ways to win.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that, if it wasn't clear for me going over it in the game, let me be very clear. This is mean. Maybe meaner than mean.
Very mean.
Because not only are you cutting each other off, bid-wise, because if you get cut off in a bid, it can be really bad, and those favors played at the right time, like, oh, did you bid a lot now? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But there's many of the cards directly affect each other. You can put the police in an area to stop them. You can shut something down. You can go to a spot they want to go to. You can steal from other people, sabotage one another. You better go in as friends.
And even if you do go in as friends, you might not come out that way. Infamy is, and it's probably, and I'll start giving my little spiel here. It's probably too mean for my tastes. I want to be able to plan, at least to some extent, what I'm going to be able to do and not be able to do. And if you're playing with other people that know what they're doing, you really can't. You can try. You can even do your best. But it won't matter. Because somebody will just cut you off. And they might not even know they're cutting you off. They're just doing it to do it. And that really bugs me. It really gets my graw.
I actually liked it in that regard. I like the meanness, although I feel like you got to go in knowing that. Okay, if this is a Euro game for sure, with worker placement and auctioning, but it doesn't feel much like your normal one because it's that constant slapping around.
Yeah.
I actually really like the game. Really like it. My only minor problem with it is that I feel like when you get the reputation with the gangs, that it's rich get richer, because as you get these special powers, and these special powers grow. So pretty soon you're like, oh, look at this. And the guy who's not as high is like, oh, well, that was fun to watch.
Right. Yeah. Those little powers, they're not a lot in and of themselves, but when you get a bunch of them, even just 3 or 4 of them, you're really doing a lot better than everybody else is, and everybody else is having a really hard time catching up to you. And again, that's second strike for me. Don't really like the whole rich get richer aspect of the game, to where the better you do, the better you do. And I think, I don't know, there needed to be some type of leveling aspect. Not really a catch-up mechanic, because I really don't like those either. It's just I wanted the gameplay to be a lot more evenly distributed, and it just wasn't.
Yeah, I don't have the biggest problem with it, Sam. I think it's actually counterable, and I think that you can go the infamy route and not even get the special powers, and maybe even sneak out a win that way. It's just that it's something to think about. And then there's the cards, and some cards, those scheme cards, are clearly better than others. But basically, my thoughts are, if you like a take that style game, a really mean one, but you want better mechanisms, not just I play bad cards and you play good cards with me. This really has a lot of things, and I think it's pretty cool in how they're all interconnected. And I think the theme is really strong. Maybe it's meant that way. You're supposed to feel like you're working for gangs.
Yeah.
With a gun in your head.
I guess so.
So, for me, the theme fit well. I think it's a unique theme for this style game. It has that one very innovative mechanic, and it all works together. Yeah, I wasn't so sure about the rich get richer thing. I don't think it's nearly as bad as Sam thinks it is. So, for me, I'm going to give this 1.5 henchmen up, because I think it's a very solid game, and I really enjoyed playing it. Although I wouldn't play it twice in a row, because I would need to detox from the meanness of other players.
I guess so. Well, I'm going to go ahead and give this 1 overly produced gun down. Simply because it is not my kind of game. It's not enjoyable for me. It is a solid game. I actually enjoy take that mechanics, But on a larger scale game like this, I don't really enjoy it that much because you become a little bit more invested in the game, which in turn, when somebody really smacks you around, it will produce a little bit more of a higher level of possibly violent behavior. So anyway, Infamy, 1 overproduced gun down.
Okay,
1.5 up.
Well, either way, despite what Sam says, I'll say this. It is not your typical fare. And I think it's one that probably, if you're kind of waffling after watching this, you should certainly try it.
Yeah.
To see if it's your style. Because this is, I wouldn't recommend this to everybody.
That should really go without saying, though. You should always try before you buy.
No, there's some games, you should just buy them. Go buy Ticket to Ride right now.
You should try before you buy, because some people just don't like Ticket to Ride.
Right, well.
It is, that, but you should always try before you buy. In this case, the artwork is awesome. The components are very well done. It's got some cool mechanics in it. Just for me, it didn't mesh together well.
Well, anyway, that's Infamy.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.